Anonymous Workers with Paul Jarrett and Clint Runge. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the premise of the show. The callers you are about to hear are anonymous. No names or locations are used in order to protect the innocent so that they can share their wild, embarrassing, and guilty stories from work. Heads up, for this episode, we're going to distort the caller's voice for their defense.
Ooh, sounds good. Let's hear it.
Welcome to Fail Disclosure. Please remember to keep your name and place of work anonymous. All right, where does your fail begin?
It was the 4th of July weekend. So my operation was in Henderson, Nevada. And it was about a 5-story building. And so I decided that that night I was going to secretly go into the building and go to the rooftop and watch the fireworks from the top of the roof.
Seems like an appropriate place, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, so I could see the strip.
Are you doing this alone, or you're going by yourself in Vegas to the roof to watch the fireworks?
Well, I wasn't actually by myself.
Okay. So you're going to throw a party up there.
So it's problematic. Very problematic. Yes, I was going to throw a party up there. I'm not going to tell you who was at the party or what I had at the party, but it was going to be a big party.
I like it better that way.
Yeah, I mean, my imagination's there. So, all right, so you're heading up to the rooftop.
So I unlocked the building. I turned the security system off, turned the cameras off, head up to the rooftop. And I get to the rooftop, and we have this wonderful, great party, and a lot of great things happen. And then all of a sudden, the key that I had, I thought I had the master key, but it wasn't.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And so I couldn't get off the roof.
No!
This is like straight off of Hangover.
I could not get off
It's like
the roof.
literally right off of Hangover.
So you're all up there having this great party. It's time for it to be over.
Yeah.
But you can't be done.
Is the sun
Couldn't get off the roof.
Is the sun coming up by this point?
The sun is coming up,
Oh man!
and we were so drunk.
You're just marinating the alcohol
We were
in the
drunk.
sun.
Oh my God!
Did people
We
start
were
getting
drunk
like
out of our minds?
Did people start getting like stir crazy? Like they're like, I'm gonna jump or I'm gonna start climbing.
Oh, people were going bananas. There was no bathroom up there.
Oh no!
We got piss all on the roof.
Oh, how many people are we talking about? Like, what size of group are we talking about?
About 10.
Oh, and you 10 are now stuck up
I mean,
on top
one
of
of
this
the
roof.
guys had to
Take a shit.
One of the guys had to take a dump on the roof.
That's just a life goal. I took a shit on the rooftop at a Vegas party.
Shit on the roof. It smelled horrible.
And do they all blame you? Like, are they so mad? And they're like, this is your
They
fault.
did.
Right?
It was all my fault.
I mean, it was.
You had one job.
Yeah.
Hold
But
the
you
key.
know what? Nobody ever remembers the parties that go perfectly.
Well-
People remember when people shit on a roof.
Yes. And there's no security
Shit on the
cameras.
roof.
Nobody knows he's up there.
No security camera. Nobody knows me up there.
Okay, who took
And
a
I'm
shit
trying
over
to
there?
figure out. Right. I'm trying to figure out who I can call that would keep it a secret
Yeah.
so that it wouldn't get back to corporate headquarters.
Yeah.
Yep. So how did this? What happened?
Well, I finally called one guy and I said, "Listen, this is not going to look good. I'm just going to tell you up front.
Good
It's
start.
a really, really bad deal. It's a really bad deal." I said, "But I know you have a key to the building. I need you to come unlock the door. I need you to come all the way to the top of the building, and I need you to." He said, "Well, where are you?" I said, "I'm stuck on the roof." He said, "Just you?" I said, "No, it's not just me." I said, "Don't ask any more questions. I just need you." And the guy worked for me too.
Oh, no.
That's kind of a good thing, though.
Yeah.
Right? You
Okay.
know, slip
Okay.
him a couple of bucks.
he's had a good night's sleep. He
And
shows
bring
up.
a bucket. You have to clean up some shit.
right. So finally, sure enough, he came and he went all the way upstairs and he came and he unlocked the door. When he looked out, if you could have seen his face, he's like, "What the fuck have you guys been doing?"
Is that shit in the corner?
Oh, and everyone smells. Everyone's been
What
drunk
is that
all night.
smell?
You know how you look in the morning anyway.
Oh God.
Oh,
it's
my
like
God.
this
Oh,
is
it was
like
horrible.
this is like worse.
It was
It's like
horrible.
worse than the walk of shame. I mean, at least you get a little sleep there, and you can kind of peel out of bed, grab some water, sneak out. But like this is like nah. Like this is
Okay, so he opens the door. He's like, "What? And you all, what next? Do you all just hang your head and walk out? What happens?"
We did. We hung our head. I said, "Listen, man, it's not. It was supposed to be a good idea." I said, really, we were just coming up. We were gonna watch fireworks, have some fun, just kind of hang out. We didn't want to go to the strip because the strip was gonna be really crowded. So we thought we would just watch the fireworks from the roof. And when everything was over, we couldn't. It's like we were in prison. We couldn't get down.
Who went the craziest? Who snapped the quickest? There's always in the movies. There's like the one guy that's like, "We're all gonna die."
we're
Like
stuck
who
up here
snapped
forever.
the fastest?
Right. Oh man, yeah, this one guy, he did. He's like, "Man, we never gonna live this down. We all gonna get, you're gonna get fired. This is gonna be in the paper.
There's poop over there.
This is it's poop over here. And a few of these were like really, prominent guys. Man, he's like, I can't believe you got us into this shit, man. We thought you were a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Did you earn a nickname or anything off of this?
I don't think I did,
No,
but they were really pissed at me. That's for sure.
This is like the thing that like nobody ever wants to talk about again.
Oh my gosh.
I do have to say, my 30th birthday party, which Clint, I think you were there, we threw a party on a roof, and we did not realize there was no restroom there. So we had people go. So and we had door access, but like the same thing, like even the restroom thing, you're like, oh man. And then what ended up happening that night is there was a tornado. And it was just an absolute disaster.
I do remember that.
The worst part is my wife had a giant tub of like juice and booze, and it spilled all. It was just a night of. So I didn't get locked out, but I can kind of relate. And then I had to go clean up the next day, and it was like 100 degrees. So I can't imagine.
Oh, man.
I can't imagine being locked.
I have a
You
question
know how
for you.
bad it smells, man?
Plus,
I mean,
just the alcohol alone.
The smell was horrible.
Yeah, just
Now, did that employee ever bring it up to you again, or was this sort of like a don't ever talk about it situation?
You know what? He and I laughed about it like a couple of years later. But you know what? I tell you, he was super loyal.
Oh,
it
that's awesome. Hell
came
yeah.
up.
You called
It
the
never
right
came
guy.
up.
You called the right guy.
I did. I called the right guy. It never came up. He was super loyal to me. It just never came up.
Man.
He came up. He unlocked the door. He looked at, oh shit, what happened? And man, it just never came up again.
Did you hire this guy?
You know what? When I took over the operation, he was already there, but we had a really, really great relationship. The previous guy that ran the operation didn't like him, and I saw his talent, and I cultivated his talent and promoted him. So hey, loyalty matters.
That's so true, and I think that's like a really good lesson for everybody to know that, like, treat everybody, whether they're your employee or coworker or you work for them, like you never know.
You never know when you'll be stuck on a roof.
I always encourage people to like just have the mentality that someday you're going to work for that person. So even if you can't stand them, just think that you might work for them someday, and just be treated the way that you were. And if someday somebody calls you and says, "I'm locked on a roof with poop, bring a bucket," you do it and you keep your mouth shut, because snitches get stitches.
That's right. That is a true statement.
One other question for you. So the other guys, you said the other people there were people of prominence. What was your relationship like with them going on? Did they ever talk about it? Can they laugh about it now? Or are they like, that son of a bitch almost took me down?
Oh, we laugh about it now like you would not believe. like we get together and we'll, have a little get together. The jokes are vicious.
Nice.
All right, man. Well, thanks so much for
Thank
calling.
you.
That was,
appreciate
really
it.
solid.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Stay safe.
All
Stay
right,
sane.
you guys be careful out there, man.
You too.
Enjoy Easter weekend.
Yeah,
You too.
you as well, man. Have a good weekend.
All right, later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to Fail Disclosure. Please keep your name and place of work anonymous. Okay, caller, where does your fail begin?
The manager embezzled probably about $25,000 from the company.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Oh.
Now, obviously you know about it now. Tell us how this discovery was made.
Yeah, well, of course. The manager has a company credit card, and there's people under him that have company credit cards. And I guess the first part, we went through one bank, and then we ended up switching banks. And so they sent us all new cards. And when they all came in, he opened up every single envelope and took a picture of the front and back of every single card that we had here.
Smart.
That son of a bitch.
If you're a criminal.
Yep.
Smart.
I mean, if you're going to do it, right.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
what
exactly.
did this
so
person...
that was kind of sketchy.
I assume then he used the credit cards to go make purchases?
Yep, for what we need or something like that.
So wait,
And,
hold on. So
when
you had a credit card, so he snapped a credit card with your name and then he used it.
He did, yes. So when he opened up all the cards, he took picture fronts and back, and then he handed them to us, and it's like, why are they open? Like, it has my name on it. It's
Yeah.
technically illegal. But he didn't think much of it. He's just like, no, I just to make sure it was good to go, and like I have to keep the cards for some reason. So that was all good, and then all of a sudden we started seeing these charges on our expense reports, and it's like, it's a Walmart for $400 here.
Had to buy that new gun.
Like Target, and so what's that?
Had to buy that new gun at Walmart.
Yeah, you're telling me. Well, we didn't know at the time. And then all of a sudden when it came time to do our expense reports, he'd be like, hey, what's this charge? Like, we kind of just played it off because, didn't know what he was doing. He's like, oh, I have the receipt. Don't worry about it. And you'd get the receipt, and it's like crumpled up, and he took a picture of it, so you can't really tell what's on it. But there's the amount, and that's all they kind of really need.
That is smart.
And he's the approver of our expense report anyway.
Oh,
the old checks and balances not there.
absolute power, absolutely correct.
Okay, so
Yes.
so this builds up.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so all of a sudden it's like, oh, Walmart here, and then it kind of get a little bit sketchy. Like there were 5 charges on maybe my expense report, maybe my coworker, he had another 3. We're like, this is getting a little much.
Strip clubs.
He actually went on vacation.
Oh no.
He went on a Disney cruise for like 10, 12 days.
Good.
And we're all kind of talking about it. I'm like, what do you do? What do we do? Do we tell somebody? It's like we don't want to get in trouble for what we're doing.
Yeah.
But it was in our name, so he's kind of in the clear. All of a sudden, one of my coworkers comes up to me, and he's like, he's not from where we work here. He came from a different state. He's like, hey, I won't name it, but it was a strip club charge.
I knew. I just totally called that.
Always that's always the one that's over the line. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. No, like I can't. Of course, I don't want to say where it's at, but
Right.
it was a strip club charge. And I'm like, dude, okay, you cannot expense that.
Yeah.
That is over the top, and it was for like $400. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
That's a lot of lap dances. So
Yeah,
I
it is.
hear.
No. Okay, so you guys are all talking about it. You're like, this is too much.
I
The
hope
strip
it's
clubs are
just
over the
still
line,
happening. That'd
and
be
now
great.
what?
It's just still going on.
Exactly, yeah. So we all kind of huddled together, and he picked up the phone right away, called the higher ups, and be like, this is not my charge, and I just saw this come through. And then we all kind of just huddled together, 6, 7 of us called, and I kind of gave our part and these charges here and everything, and all of a sudden, yeah, it ended up being like $25,000 because some of it was on his card, some of it was through maybe POs that we had to cut or something like that.
Was the strip club charge under your name?
Ridiculous. No, it was not. It was under one of my coworkers' name.
It'd be great if like the coworker
Well,
actually went to the strip club But since he knew that,
No,
like,
once
this
he
was
knew,
gonna-
he should have gone and said, none of that was me.
That's probably what
and that
I
guy's
would've
not going to
did.
deny it either.
I would have bought a whole bunch of just a
Yeah,
whole bunch
right.
of
It's like-
inappropriate stuff and then just tagged it on that guy. Double
I was
reverse
like, maybe I
whammy.
need to get discharged, and I was like, that it was just the boss. Like he did it, I swear.
Yeah.
So what happened to this guy?
Yeah. How's he go down?
Well, they kind of did more of an investigation. They called us here, and they were like, "We'll gather some receipts," because of course on mine I had like probably 20 charges now that I didn't have receipts for. So I started going to these places, and like I'd look at the receipt, and I'd be like, "He spent $400 on Disney gift cards while he was there, like at Walmart or something like that." And then he'd get a few things that we needed while we were there to kind of cover it up. And then at another place, I was like, "These are all personal items like brats and hamburgers and hamburger buns that we didn't see."
For the strip club.
What a weird thing to charge,
strip
too.
club.
Like, you know, like,
Hey, yeah, exactly. But when you approve the expense report, nobody else sees it. So basically,
dude, go to jail,
and then-
fined.
What was that?
I said, did he go to jail? Was he fined? Is he still working? Is he hopefully at the strip club now?
No, he didn't. No. Well, he basically, the crazy thing, he was gone for like 10, 12 days on this cruise. So he finally came back, and the higher ups were like, "We're going to meet you there." And at the company I worked for, and he showed up at work about 7 o'clock. I was here about 6:45, and I was thinking they were going to show up right at about 7 o'clock. And from 7:30, 8 o'clock, so I texted them, I'm like, "Hey, are you guys going to be here? I just kind of want to know what to expect." And they're like, "Nope, we'll be there in the afternoon." I'm like, so I have to spend 8 hours with this guy knowing and his life is just going to turn for the worst.
Yeah. All his rats are going to be exposed.
And he's completely unaware of that this is going down.
Yeah, he's completely unaware. We're talking about his cruise and how he has all these plans about we're moving forward.
I would have got.
I'm like, great, dude, great.
Cool. Can I just go back to my office?
I would have got a big bucket of popcorn and just sat there all day laughing.
All right, so the afternoon rolls around.
Yeah, so then they show up and they're like, "Hey, come into our office." And they did their thing, chit-chatted, and sent him out. And I guess I don't know what that conversation was like, but he went back into his office here. And then they interviewed the people that were here. They're on phone with corporate and like looking through our charges and be like, "Name this charge. Was it you? Was it him?" Blah, blah, blah. We went through that.
It wasn't.
And then they ended up, went back into his office, and it's like, we can either fire you and take legal action, or we're going to have you resign. And which is kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't take legal action.
So he got away with it. I mean, he lost his job, but he got away with it.
They ended up letting him go, and he lost his job, and
that might be the actual that might be the actual fail out of all this, right? Like, so someone can go in, do all of these things,
right?
$25,000,
right?
And essentially get away with it. Of course, their name is going to be torn down, and they've lost their job. But or the
win. I mean, good for him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like how much would have been okay too. Like if he'd only done $5,000.
The amount of people that you hear about that steal from companies is absolutely insane. I have a friend in law enforcement. Very common there. I have a friend that runs a private practice, doctor, whatever those are called. Same thing. And it really does. I think the common theme is like a failure of checks and balances. Yeah. And I'm so paranoid at our company that I have multiple people like checking it, but I have this one guy who's fantastic. He's actually an intern. And I'm like, be hard on me, chase everything down, and like really drill me for whatever. And I'm like, it's not even that I'm concerned with what I'm purchasing. It's just over time.
Optics.
Somebody might be like, well, what was that $150 at Walgreens? And you're like, print supplies because of the fucking pandemic, but like it's weird how much it happens, and it really makes me wonder how much does it go down that people don't really know about.
I think so much. I think that's happened. I mean, I've heard so many stories of that happening, and basically because no one wants publish that their company got didn't have the
Right.
checks and balances, and they got screwed over because that's bad for business.
Yep.
So they're just like, how do we make it go away? It's just like
Yep.
you just get rid of the person, and you don't
Yep. And then
take
they
legal
come
action.
work at somebody else's company and do it
especially
just
at a
as
Fortune
bad.
500 company. I mean, the last thing they want to do is deal with that, right?
Right. Lawsuit.
I mean, 25,000. They're like,
anything
just get
like
them out
that.
the door.
Oh gosh. Dang.
So I'm curious, were there new checks? Did the new person come in, or how did it all resolve itself? New checks and balances?
He's got all the credit cards now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, they're much more strict about it. But the crazy thing after that is I thought the stupid thing was him sending him back to his office because
Right.
after like 2 weeks after he's gone, he changed the passwords to everything that we had here. Or he deleted our accounts. He changed the password. So we're trying to do stuff, but everything was under his name and his email. So when you go change password, it's like, we sent you a link to change your email. And I'm like, well, I can't get into his email.
Yeah.
So there's probably 12 different accounts, cleared all the passwords. So yeah, it was kind of crazy here for maybe a couple months trying to get our bearings from underneath us again.
So does the new person, like, is the credit card protocol the same now, or is it changed since then?
No, it's still the same. It's just more strict. They watch what we do now, which I think is smart. You know, like if that happens, like, all right, we need to make sure. Yeah, they basically just need to make sure everything's good to go.
What's
at our store or whatever?
What's the strangest thing that you had charged on your card besides the strip club? What's another one, or what's one that you had to defend?
Oh gosh, that one like that. Well, he went and bought a brand new tailored suit. It was like an $800
Son
suit.
of a bitch. That son of a bitch bought a tailored suit.
It's like a pimp suit.
Yeah.
It's like a zoo.
He's
suit.
like, I gotta look good doing this stealing.
Right. What? Tell me. I'm more.
Well,
I don't know.
and I was like, how do you? Oh goodness. Well, what I thought about the suit charge, I'm like, how can you expense this as a company? Because what we do has nothing to do with suit and ties.
Yeah.
I'm like, so how do you expect to expense this and get this approved? And stuff like
Because he
that?
needed it for the strip club. Duh.
So there you go. My thought is he actually needed it for his cruise because he talked about that 3 weeks before. He's
Sure.
like, oh, we bought dinner. It's like a $500 dinner, and you have to wear a suit and tie. And I'm like, okay, well, that one kind of matched up a little bit.
What else did he buy?
Oh, goodness. So, yeah, there were Disney gift cards like crazy. I think there were $1,000 of Disney gift cards on my card. There was another probably $500 on another. Oh, man, I can't think of anything. And there were some personal. Oh, he went to Shields, and this was on my card. And then you get the receipt, and I went to Shields and got the receipt. And all of a sudden, it's like cheetah bras and yoga pants.
No.
Oh, so now he's buying his wife's stuff. I'm like, I can't expense this too.
Or maybe
Or,
for him.
or somebody.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Wear it underneath the suit. Don't judge it till you've tried it, guys.
yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. So, but that's basically what happened. It was kind of a crapshoot here for a while. But everything's good now. We have a good manager ahead of us. You know, there's some good checks and balances in place, and we're smooth sailing now. But it was kind of rough there for a while.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is that, so he's high up, and then there's a manager below, and then there's workers kind of below that kind of run operations and stuff. The two workers below both put in their 2 weeks. So then it was me running the show, which kind of is like a 3-person show.
Oh, man.
And then when he came back,
Brutal.
it was like, okay, yeah. So then it's like me and him, but then when he gets canned, it is me running the show for probably 4 weeks until they find another manager.
So in other words, you
that was
ran a
fun.
criminal organization for 4 weeks. I think that's what I gleaned out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can't put that on my resume, but absolutely.
Well, I've always found that the checks and balances along, like balancing that with red tape is like, because it's also like you can add so many checks in there until like
Right.
now things can't get done.
Yeah.
And I think that's always the struggle because you need things to move quickly in this world, and yet too many barriers, sign-offs, whatever, you know, like that sucks too.
I work for Nike, and we did events with shoes and stuff, and they just flat out said 15% of our shit is going to get stolen.
They just knew it.
They just knew it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your call today. That was a really great story and
Fantastic.
a pretty good fail.
No, of course. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Talk
Bye-bye.
later. Bye.
All right. Bye.
I'm Paul Jarrett.
And I'm Clint Runge. Thanks for joining us today. Be sure to check us out and subscribe on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please do leave a rating. They help us know how we're doing. And if you like the show, share it with a friend or two.
You can find us on Facebook at Fail Disclosure and our personal pages on Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Thanks for joining us today.
This is Fail Disclosure.